girl. I'm a nice guy. Liquor in my cup, I gotta really toughen up. Yeah, nurse strap.
Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about the 3D printer. It is beginner friendly and it is also inexpensive. It only costs 15,000. So let's start. This printer is manufactured by Anycubic and it has many features. For example, it can print big projects ranging from length, width and height of 22 centimeter to 22 centimeter to 25 centimeter respectively. The printer is also good for high-speed prints. It can provide a max speed of 250 mm per second. This printer can provide you up to 260 degrees Celsius of nozzle temperature as well as 110 degrees Celsius of the bed temperature. When we go to the settings option, we can find many calibration settings which it does all by itself. It can calibrate its bed by itself and the axis together or individually all by itself. This printer is also very precise. It can move accurately to 0.1 mm and we can find this option in settings. We are provided with many tools with this printer. For example, these L keys to set up the printer. These wrenches to tighten up the screws. An extra nozzle for more precise builds. And this SD card with an SD card reader so that we are able to provide our prints to this printer. Some of the prints are already pre-flashed in the SD card so that we can just plug the printer in and print those builds. To start printing with this printer, first we have to calibrate this bed. So for that, we have to use this scroll button to navigate to the settings and then push this button to enter the settings. Now we can see a different menu pops up. Now here we can find an option named auto level. We have to click on that option and it will ask us yes or no. We have to click on yes and we should see that it has started working. So first of all, it is preheating the nozzle and the bed. The minimum nozzle temperature for calibration is 220 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature of bed for this calibration is 60 degrees Celsius. So it will start the calibration automatically once it reaches these temperatures. Now it has done with preheating and it is starting to calibrate the bed. When it is done with preheating, we can see a green tick next to preheat option. Now it is wiping its nozzle. Now we can see a green tick next to wiping nozzle. Now it is starting to calibrate. So now it is done with calibrating. We can see three green ticks plus this blue tick, and to exit this mode we have to click on this blue tick. Now that's all for calibrating the bed. So now to start printing we have to load the filament. Here I'm having two colors of filament. Both of them are from the company 3 Idea Technology. We can see the specifications of our filament on this slip. So, the minimum and maximum nozzle temperature for this filament is 195 degree to 220 degree, and minimum and maximum bed temperature for this filament is 45 degree to 60 degree. So to load this filament, we have to put the spool in this holder, and then we have to find the end point of the filament. This is the end point. Now here we can see a pipe for the filament. We have to pass this filament through this pipe. We can see if the filament is going inside through this pipe. Now the mistake which most people make is that they try to put force to make the filament go in, but actually here it is stuck. So to prevent that, we have to first push this clip down, and by pushing it we have to load the filament. Now the filament is loaded. Now to check that if the filament is loaded properly, we have to extrude that filament. So again we'll go on settings, and here we'll see a tab named as filament. We have to click on that tab, and then we'll see three options: back, retract, extrude. We have to go on extrude and Click on it. Now it will ask that if we want to extrude or not. So we have to click on yes, and then it will say that nozzle heating, please wait. And below that it will show us the nozzle temperature. Currently it is on 67 degree, and it has to reach 215 degrees Celsius to start extruding the filament. If our filament will be loaded correctly, we'll see it coming out from this nozzle. So now, as you can see that it is coming out of the nozzle. That means it has been loaded properly and we can start with printing things. To start printing, we have to insert the SD card. So we'll see two ports, one of SD card and USB type C. So we have to put the SD card in the SD card port. Now when it's plugged in, we have to go on this sign which shows a extruder. So here we'll be able to see a list of prints which is present in this SD card. So for now, I'll print a spider. It will ask that if I want to start printing the spider. Now we'll be able to see an interface. The interface looks like this. This is our nozzle temperature, this is our hotbed temperature, and this is the speed of the printer. Now we can see that the printer has started printing. So now it has started printing. First of all, it cleans the nozzle here to prevent any residue in the print. Now we can see an outline on our print bed. This print takes usually 19 minutes to print on 100% of the speed. So now let me change its speed to 120%. There are three modes: 80%, 100% and 120%. 80% is generally for high quality builds and for making base, and 120% is generally to get prints at a high speed. So now, as I'll set it to 120%, we'll see that the extruder is moving with a faster speed. Now, the most important thing to remember is that to check that the filament is not untangled. To ensure good quality of prints, we should ensure that the filament is going freely inside the printer and it is not untangled in the spool. One of the major important feature of this printer is that you can pause the print or you can even stop the print in between. And you might be thinking that what happens if there is any power outage? This printer can recover from the power outage. For example, let me simulate power outage by switching off this plug right now. We'll see that the printer is off and it is printing no more. So let me switch the printer on. It will start and it will show us a pop-up power outage question mark cross or no. If we'll go on cross, then it will show up the home menu, and if we'll click on yes, then it will start printing from the same point it stopped. So this prevents wastage of our filament. It might take some time because the extruder has to heat up and the hotbed also has to heat up to ensure good quality of print. Now as you can see, it will continue printing from the same point it left. See, it is again printing. In case you want to check anything in your print, you can just simply pause the print from this menu. Now it will ask us pause print, cross or yes. We'll click on yes and we can see that it is pausing and homing. Now we can see it is on its home place. Now after checking, we can click on play and then it will again start printing from the place it left the print. And just ensure that you are not removing the print from the print bed, otherwise it may mess up the print. So for now I'll be stopping this print right now. If you want to stop the print, You have to go on the stop option and then click on it. Now it will ask us stop print, cross or yes. When we click on yes, it will stop the print and we'll be able to see the home screen back. Now, this print bed, it may be hot because it was just running on 60-degree temperature just seconds ago. So, we have to wait for it to cool down and then we'll be good to remove our print. To check the temperature of the hot bed or the nozzle, you can see the extruder option, and here below it we can see that right now the temperature of this extruder is 170 degree and the temperature of the hot bed is 57 degrees Celsius. It might take 1 or 2 minutes to cool down to the normal room temperature. So it has been a minute and everything is cooled down. So now we have to remove the print. To do that, we have to turn off the switch to ensure our safety. Now we'll see that the printer is not working anymore and it is down. Now we have to gently pull the plate forward. Now, this plate is magnetic. You can pull off this plate by simply lifting it up. We can see that this is our print. Here the printer does a nozzle check to clean the printer. And to remove the print, we have to just bend this plate a little bit and then it will come off the build plate. Now we can just put it back by simply dropping it like this. It is magnetic, so it will stick to the build plate. Now you guys might be wondering that on YouTube people show us that they are printing anything which they want. How are we supposed to do that? See, I printed this big dragon and it was print in place. I printed this toy and I also printed this car using this 3D printer. To print the things you want, check my next video in which I'll tell you what is G code and how to put it in the SD card and correctly start our print.